the road, we get letters signed, we changed Wu's mind in our state. We changed David Wu's mind about not supporting. He wasn't going to support. There was legislation at the federal level to defund the DEA, and he said no, no, no. But we've called him. Our own Russ Balzo right here. He's a great volunteer. He's our webmaster, and he had him on speed dial. Anybody who wanted to call at our meeting, they could call. And you know that's what you do. And then we rallied as patients, and I know all this is as patients, but Normal's bigger than that, because now we're doing Citizens for a Safer Portland, which makes, of course, marijuana offense is the lowest priority, saves money, and that's what we're doing. Now we're doing what you were talking about, where we're tapping into mainstream. I go to town hall meetings, I say, excuse me, you know, and they can't say no to me because I'm brown and it's politically incorrect, right? You remember? Yeah. So I go like that and I wear a poncho and everything, and they go, oh, yeah, I really do. And they call on me and I say, how do you feel about medical marijuana? And they just go, can you talk to my, they used to go, can you talk to my aide? But now they answer me. And they let me speak, and I get applause at the town hall meeting. And people get in line to talk to me. You know, it's just the most amazing thing. When you stand up for your rights, people recognize it. You know, put your shoulders back, kind of like when you do doctrine, shoulders back, and just stand there and be proud. And don't be ashamed of who we are, because we are stuck with that horrible stereotype of us, you know, but we can prove them wrong, and we are. We are all over the place. Look at our free states now. We chose, for Oregon Normal, to work on lobbying. So we didn't get our 501c3. We were a domestic nonprofit for the very reason one of my predecessor, Perry Stripling, suggested we stick with just being a nonprofit domestically so that we could work on lobbying to protect the law, to protect the OMA, and to protect the patients, and to continue to implement it, to make it grow. You know, and we have. Last year, Oregon Normal was so significant, oh gosh, in marijuana law reform, because we changed the possession amounts at last year's legislative session. We changed it from 4 ounces, 3 ounces at the property where you're growing, 1 ounce on you, that's the most you can have. We changed the limits to 24 usable ounces of medical marijuana per patient. Right. More importantly, we made people that are in hospice and health care, which it could happen to any of us any day, especially as a patient, especially at 55 years old. Makes me cry. Anyway, you know, you can be in hospice, and you know what, now they can be medicated. It's codified in the law that someone, the same person that gives out their medicines, can now medicate that person. Isn't it amazing? Who would have ever thought this? I just, in my whole life, would have never thought it. But, and I mean, there's just so many great things in that law. It did. The law enforcement was trying to take away our affirmative defense. The defense to say if you had more than 7 plants, which is our law, that they could take your guardian, take you to jail, and you could put on affirmative defense for $65,000 after you went to jail. If you had that amount of money, lucky you. But we knew they were coming after. They tried it twice, and we deflected bad legislation in 2003, House Bill 2939, which was going to change our law, actually set the hoops on fire that you have to jump through to become a patient. But we changed that, we deflected it, we gave up the affirmative defense, but we got all these extra things that we felt we could work with. There still needs to be some more work. We have already submitted legislative language for 2007, which should improve our law. If anybody wants to ask me, I feel like I'm taking up way too much time here. Oh, okay. So much to say. But we have done a lot. You know, and the interesting part of Senate Bill 1085 is, excuse me, that so many people were opposed to it. Every other organization in the state of Oregon opposed it, including, you know, all the big ones you can think of in Oregon, and I probably shouldn't say it. They did, and in spite of that, it passed. It passed unanimously through our Democratic Senate, and then you know, the House over there is Republican, so they really hurt us, and that's what we were. So was it? I don't know. I'm confused. The Democrats and the Republicans. I think I'm going green. I really am really gonna have to go there, because actually the Green Party's asked me about running, but that's too scary for me. But I just want to encourage all of you to get involved and stay involved. And the thing that I say to everybody is, put the joint down or step away from the bomb. Write a letter, send a fax, make a phone call, do something. A lot of people tell me every day, Madeline, government is so messed up. It's really awful. Government sucks. Well, you know what? You're government and I'm government. And if we don't do something about it, then we get the government we deserve. And that's why I'm so encouraged to see all your young faces here, standing here. And you know what? America's roots are hemp roots. That's what America's roots are. And we're like reselling this to everybody now. And I gotta tell you, there's so much going on out there, and you guys are so much luckier than we were in the 70s and the 60s, because we were really struggling out there just finding them little dime bags. You know, now things have changed. We have all these states that are really, really changing things, and you guys are it. Anyway, I want to thank you, Karen and Chris. You have done such a great, Normal has done such a great job of doing all this. And if you have any questions about it, I don't know if we're taking questions, are we?
Madeline, and to reiterate very quickly, you'll be so surprised how far kindness gets you. Kindness is the most underrated value, I think, in our society, because everybody deserves to be treated kindly and with respect, and it will get you farther than you can ever believe. That said, I'd like to bring up our next speaker, who's going to be Chris Crane. And Chris is a tremendous activist who many of you know, and he's been somewhat of a mentor to me almost over the last 2.5 years. From the time I started at Normal, he was gracious enough to let me pop my head into his office maybe.
We so happy we alive, we together can survive. Stop the bullshit, stop the lies, and now's the time to legalize. Tell me brother, tell me true, what the hell we gonna do? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? We so happy, we alive, we together can survive. Mother Nature, heaven sent, don't belong to government. Hey there sister, what's the plan? Do you really understand? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? We so happy, we alive, we together can survive. Stop the bullshit, stop the lies, now's the time to legalize. Half the world up in smoke, where on earth can we take a tug? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? Human nature, full and free, modifies reality. Open up, inner flower, peace and love, inner power. Open up, inner flower, peace and love, inner power. remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1